I'm Shae Russell from mining.com.au, and joining me today is the Managing Director for Unico Silver, Todd Williams. Todd, it's great to see you again. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great, Shae. Thanks for having us.
You have been a hive of activity since we last spoke. Twice in May, you've released some impressive announcements. Once on the 5th of May, which was regarding drill results from Cerro Leon. And then again on the 19th of May, you announced an expansion at your Waqen project. Mate, can you summarise some of the key highlights here for me?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the first week of May, we put out some exceptional results from Cerro Leon. So that incorporated 10,000 metres of diamond drilling. And really the goal of that program was to do some of the more high-risk framework drilling throughout the district to prove the potential scale of the veins that fall outside the current MRE, the mineral resource estimate. So that campaign was extremely successful. We successfully have shown that there are 7 new zones that will come into the MRE in Q3 this year. That included a standout drill hole at almost every new vein target, which was exceptional. And on the back of that success, we've launched a phase 3 drill program. That will be about 6,500 metres of RC and diamond, with the goal of converting these new discoveries into a MRE in the third quarter this year. So that was really pleasing. On top of that, we just put out some drill results last week for the Waqen project. We were exceptionally pleased with not only the thickness of the silver mineralisation, but the tenor of the grades. Importantly, one of the key objectives that we had at Waqen was to demonstrate to the market that the existing 43101 foreign reserve estimate, which was published by Coeur d'Alene in 2013, we wanted to show to the market that continued into the neighbouring tenement, which was the Cerro Puntudo property, which we acquired in a separate transaction, and that we were expanding the mineralised envelope of the La Negra resource. And so we not only proved that, we've now extended the resource from approximately 1 kilometre to over 2 kilometres in strike length. The mineralisation at La Negra is twice the grade of the current resource, which is obviously exceptional. It just shows that, hopefully we can actually revise up the grade for the project. And the mineralisation is open throughout the prospects in the northern, central and southern parts, showing that, obviously more discoveries and more growth will be had with more drilling. So really, really pleased with that. And on top of that, we announced the results for the first 4 holes at a new exploration prospect called Brunilda, which is one of 5 vein targets that we'll be testing at Waqen. And the first 4 holes all intercepted 40 to 50 metre wide zones of silver mineralisation starting from surface. So really great start at Waqen, and clearly all of this bodes for a large update to the MRE in the third quarter this year.
I'm so glad you mentioned the MRE, because obviously you're doing some excellent work out here, expanding the mineralisation and increasing the footprint of the projects. How is that mineral resource estimate looking?
Yeah, look, it's really good. Obviously, we've got a lot of work to get through. We're almost complete with our phase 3 RC drilling, diamond drilling at Cerro Leon now. So that should be complete in the following week. So we should have final assays for Cerro Leon in, say, 6 weeks' time. And then at Waqen, we've got another 5,000 metres of infill and exploration work planned, which will see us drilling all the way up until the end of June. And then we should be in a position to put out that MRE sort of mid-August, early September, once we've worked through all the numbers.
Finally, if you don't mind, Todd, I wouldn't mind just touching on the silver market overall. Now, there's been a flurry of M&A that we're seeing in the silver market. Most recently, a multi-billion-dollar deal was done between Pan America and Mag Silver. And I just want to see, does this mean anything for Unico? Obviously, you're an up-and-coming explorer with impressive grades and an impressive resource. Will Unico Silver benefit from this at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, so the transaction last week, that was a $2.1 billion acquisition of Mag Silver. That was for a 44% non-controlling interest in the Juanicipio mine in Mexico. So pro forma, Pan American will increase their silver production next year by about 7 million ounces of primary silver production, about 11 million ounces, 10 million ounces silver equivalent. So, 2.1 million US, that's 3 billion Aussie in terms of the transaction value. Analysts have it at approximately 2x NAV, so almost double the book value of the asset, which is really important. And it's consistent with other transactions that we've seen in the past 6 months. In October, Coeur d'Alene acquired Silvercrest for over $1.5 billion, and First Majestic acquired Gatos Silver, the Los Gatos mine, for over $1 billion. So what we've seen is a lot of consolidation in the single asset silver miner space. In fact, there are almost no single asset silver miners left. Adriatic is one, and they're actually rumoured to be taken over by Dundee Precious Metals. So, there's a lot of activity in that space. And so, what we see is two things. Firstly, we've got a really nice high watermark for the value of success in terms of developing a silver operation. We've got some clarity around what is material. We're clearly seeing that these major silver miners want to see anywhere from, say, 6 to 8 million ounces of primary silver production per annum. And look, we think we've got the foundations, the resource base to deliver into that. Obviously, we've got a large MRE update coming in the third quarter of this year. And we think, the next milestone for us will be showing that we've got, at least 100 million ounces of silver reserves. That'll obviously be subject to, more detailed engineering work, which will come after the MRE. But, we're obviously in a really good position in the sense that we're on a former granted mining lease, being Waqen. We own the surface rights for all of the ounces that we currently control. And, we are in a mining province, being Santa Cruz, Argentina, where there's a really clear pathway for permitting and building new mines. So we think once we get through this MRE, we'll be in a really good position to start showing the market what a development scenario could look like.
There's certainly a lot of exciting things happening here for Unico Silver. Listen, Todd, thank you for taking the time to speak with me today, and I look forward to catching up soon.
Excellent. Thanks, Shae.